Hi, I'm your host Tish Tansil, and this is URBANesque Living. It's a good thing to have that little drip, but thank you for watching. This is Tish Tansil on URBANesque Living. What I've been doing since you've been on, peeler on it as well, but it's a little bit small, and by the time I'm done, it'll be a lot quicker just using paring knife. To show you some secrets of a pastry chef. I worked in the pastry industry. The cookies, sometimes they do crumble, but we're not. Those are done, and you can stick a fork in it, literally. You'll find out when we come back. Hi, welcome to another edition of URBANesque Living. I'm your host, Chef Tish Tansil, and today, this is a show for the vegan in you. This is a meatless show. We're not going to add any type of animal products to our vegetables today, but you won't miss that flavor because these vegetables are going to be so delicious, you won't miss the meat. Stay tuned.
Mom, can I have $1? Yeah, it's right. I think my purse is upstairs on the bed. It's not here. Check the dining room. No. What about your sister's room? It's not there either. The upstairs closet? The downstairs closet? There are no more closets.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Hi, welcome back, and this is URBANesque Living, and I'm Chef Tish, and today I'm going to help you eat your veggies. Now, some of us are vegetarians and some of us are not, but we all need to eat a certain amount of vegetables each day, and why not have a pleasant experience doing so? I happen to love vegetables, so I make the most of vegetables every time that I cook them. Vegetables don't have to be steamed and they don't have to be bland. Vegetables can be delicious as they are, but I'm going to show you a way to make the most of the flavor of the vegetables. And what we're going to do is roast our vegetables in the oven. And the thing about roasting your vegetables that is wonderful is that it brings out the natural sugar in vegetables. And yes, vegetables do have sugar. You just have to know how to bring it out. And when you roast the vegetable, that helps to bring out the natural sugar in each vegetable. So today I've chosen some basic vegetables, but they're also very good vegetables and they are very easy to find in your store. One of the first vegetables that I'm going to add to my baked vegetables are Yukon Gold potatoes. And as you can see, these potatoes do have a gold color to them. And right now people are trying to say that stay away from the white potatoes, eat yellow potatoes or eat sweet potatoes because you don't want the amount of starch and sugar that's found in a white potato. But these just taste good. So we're going to be using Yukon Gold potatoes. And as you notice, I cut them into cube size, and they're just basically a rough cut. You don't have to try and be pretty with these, but at least be consistent with the size because you want all of your vegetables to cook at about the same time. But I left the skin on because I think the skin on potatoes, especially oven-baked potatoes, is delicious. So we're going to add these to our mixing bowl. Now another thing, we are going to be using a roasting pan, and if you don't want to have this middle step, you can just add them straight to your roasting pan. But because I want you to see what I'm doing today, I'm adding them to this glass bowl, and then I'm going to transfer them to the roasting pan. So I'm adding my potatoes, and like I said, these have already been cut, and I have beautiful orange carrots. And these are all organic vegetables because I think organic products are worth buying just to play it safe. So these have also been cut, and these are approximately the same thickness and size as your potatoes. So I'm going to add these also. Now we have other vegetables that kind of add a little bit of flavor to the mix. So we have our onions and we have our celery. And this also goes into our bowl. And so these are just mixed in. And right now I'm thinking that I probably need a bigger bowl. But these are all mixed together, as you can see. And so what I'm going to do next is I am going to add some oil to this. And this is approximately a half a cup of olive oil. Now if you would like to use almond oil, or if you would like to use a canola oil, or maybe even a corn oil, whatever your preference is, you can, preference. And once you add the oil, what you're going to do is you're going to toss the vegetables and make sure that the vegetables are all coated in the oil. Now you don't want to add a lot of oil because we're not trying to have fried vegetables and we're not trying to add a lot of calories, but we're just trying to add enough so that everything is coated. So now everything is coated. I do have mushrooms, but because mushrooms cook so quickly, I'm not going to add these mushrooms until the vegetables are almost done. Okay, so now our vegetables are coated in our olive oil, and you can use a virgin olive oil or a non-virgin olive oil, whichever is your preference. If you are a connoisseur of olive oil, please choose your favorite olive oil. It will make this vegetable experience all the more better. Okay, so I have cut up and diced some garlic, and that can go in here as well. Garlic actually provides a very earthy flavor. Now these are actually going to have a nice rosemary flavor. I went to the store, they had some rosemary on sale. This is fresh rosemary. So I'm going to add rosemary to this. And one thing about fresh rosemary is that it is easy to eat. A lot of times we might buy dried rosemary and you still have the whole leaf, and those little leaves can get kind of sharp and they will stick in your teeth. So the beautiful thing about buying fresh rosemary is that the leaves are not hard. It adds a great flavor to your food and you don't have to worry about those leaves sticking in your teeth. Okay, so we've added the rosemary. Now, I also cut up some green onions because I love the flavor of green onions. They add a little bit more of a twang to it than your regular onions. So I'm going to pour that on top. And I'm going to stir this all together to make sure everything is mixed well. And you should smell the delicious flavor that's going on. It almost looks like a potato salad, but it is not because we have not baked them yet. And we're not going to add mayonnaise. Okay, so now that everything is mixed together, I have made a little spice mix. And this spice mix includes a little bit of salt, a little bit of cumin, a little bit of paprika, cayenne pepper, because I want a little bit of spiciness. Now your vegetables don't have to be dull. The world is full of spices, so use them. So I'm just going to put this on top. And I'm going to make sure I get everything out because I'm not sure if you realize this, but some spices can be very expensive. So you don't want to leave anything in the container. Okay, so now that everything is all mixed together, I'm just going to stir my vegetables and make sure that everything has got some seasoning and it's got some of our herbs on them. Okay, so now everything is mixed together in our bowl, and you can see it's a very beautiful combination. And it's a basic vegetable combination. We're not using anything that's exotic in this today. We're just using carrots and potatoes, celery and onion. But these are going to taste different than any other carrot, potato, celery, and onions that you've ever had. These are going to be delicious. And like I said, when these get about halfway done, I'm going to add the mushrooms because I really don't want them to shrivel up while I'm cooking them. I want to still have them retain some of their natural qualities. Okay, so now that this has all been tossed together, I'm simply going to put the entire mixture in a non-stick roasting pan. And as you can see, this little glass bowl actually held quite a lot of vegetables. But vegetables are good for you, so we're not going to worry about how many vegetables you eat. You can eat as many vegetables as you like. And as you can see, this is a very beautiful combination. We have our herbs, we have our spices, we have our onions and our potatoes. So I am going to put this entire pot into the oven, and we are going to roast our vegetables. And these should take about 1 hour to complete. Okay, so we're just going to leave the top on that while it roasts, and so we'll be back in a few. Stay tuned.
Mommy, look at me! As a parent, of course you want to protect your kids. Sometimes you know just what to do. Sometimes you just try your best. But when your child is sick, antibiotics may not be the answer. Antibiotics don't cure colds, flu, or most sore throats. Talk with your child's doctor or nurse and learn how to help your child feel better.
Hi, welcome back to URBANesque Living. And it's been about an hour now since I put our roasted vegetables in the oven, and they're smelling delicious. You can smell rosemary all over the house. So now I'm going to give them a toss, and I'm going to add our mushrooms. And I actually tossed the mushrooms in a little bit of the same spice mixture just to make sure that every single morsel has the delicious flavor. So I'm going to add these now. These smell wonderful. One thing you must remember when you're using a non-stick surface is to use rubber utensils, because if you scratch the surface, you're damaging the cookware. So I'm just going to toss our vegetables, and they do have some caramelization on them already. And I'm just going to add in our mushrooms. I'm going to toss all of that together. Okay, so our mushrooms are now coated, and there's actually very little liquid in the pan. A lot of the moisture has been reduced, and that means that our vegetables are going to have a terrific flavor. Because the less liquid that you have, the more flavor that it's going to have. Make sure you use your oven mitts because we don't want any kitchen accidents. These pans are hot. Okay, so we're going to give that just a little while longer to let those mushrooms merge in with the potatoes and the carrots, and our dish will be ready to serve. Stay tuned. Welcome back to URBANesque Living, and our oven roasted vegetables are done, and you can stick a fork in it, literally. If you want to make sure that your vegetables are done, you stick a fork in them. If the fork comes out, then they're done. Simple as that. Let's take them out of the oven and I'll show you just how fabulous they look. Now, as you can see, our vegetables are roasted to perfection. Our potatoes are nice and golden. Our carrots have a very good coating of our seasonings and vegetables. It's wonderful. That rosemary flavor, you can smell it in the air. And because we tossed all of our vegetables in our rosemary and olive oil dressing that we made for this, every single piece of vegetable in here has a wonderful taste of rosemary, and it's very well seasoned. Not a lot of salt. You won't miss the meat. Try this one on me.
Mindful eating doesn't mean you have to abandon your culture and your love for flavor. Learn new ways to prepare savory meals to keep your family healthy. If you or someone in your family has diabetes, or if you fear they might be at risk for developing diabetes, talk to your healthcare professional today. To request your free copy of the American Diabetes Association's Latin Flavor in the Kitchen Recipe Sampler and to receive a free guide on type 2 diabetes, call 1-800-DIABETES. Again, 1-800-DIABETES.
Hi, welcome back to URBANesque Living. I'm Chef Tish, and like I said, today is a 101 lesson in culinary safety. One of the first things you learn when you start on a culinary journey is that you have to have the proper tools. And the basics for your proper kitchen supplies is your cutting board. And in the past, a cutting board was just that, a big plank of wood, and you would cut everything on it from your chicken to your vegetables to your fruit to your breads. All of that was cut on one surface. They found that that was not sanitary. It can cause cross-contamination, which can make you very ill. So now we have color-coded cutting boards, such as these. These are green, blue, red, and orange. These are also very flexible. You can actually roll these. You can use these for a number of different purposes in your kitchen, but they're very thin. But on one side, they do have a skid-resistant surface, and that is what you need when you cut, because you don't want your cutting board sliding around because you can get injured. Another type of cutting board that is also current is one like this. This is a glass cutting board, and it's actually tempered glass, and it has a rough surface. So you can cut your fruits or your vegetables or anything you want on this, because this board does not absorb juices. So this is actually kind of cool, and I actually like this because you can serve on this. So say if you were cutting some cheese, you can actually serve on this same thing because it's very attractive. So I just got that. Now, if you just want a cutting board that's traditional and this is a professional cutting board, you would choose a cutting board such as this. And as you can see, this is a good size. There are actually some that's a little bit bigger than this, but this is very thick plastic. And you can clean this and you can use a sanitizer with this as well. You can stick this in a dishwasher. This type of cutting board you can buy at a professional cooking supply store. And this actually comes in the color-coded colors as well, such as red, green, white, and blue. Whichever you choose, just make sure that you do have a cutting board for your surface for your own safety. This has been Chef Tish Tansil, and that was my culinary tip for the day. Thank you.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Hi, I'm Chef Tish Tansil, and welcome to another edition of URBANesque Living. Today, I'm going to be talking about a very special kitchen food item. It's been around for thousands and thousands of years, and mankind has used it in cooking as well as in medicine. It can be found in the produce section, in the tea aisle, and the baking row in your local store. What am I talking about? You'll find out when we come back. Hi, welcome back to URBANesque Living. And that root that I was talking about, that mankind has been using for thousands of years to cure ailments and to make your cakes taste delicious, is none other than this delicious ginger root. And ginger root has been in our diets now for thousands of years. It's great for your digestion, it's great in tea, it's great in your gingerbread. Today I'm going to show you how to use the natural ginger root because the flavor is fantastic. And if you have the opportunity to use this in your cooking, you probably want to use this over the kind that's dry or the kind that's already cut up in a container. Now, how do you cut open this ginger root? It's not as difficult as it looks. It has a thin skin on it, and a lot of times you want to get rid of that skin because sometimes growers put a property on this ginger in order for it not to sprout. It has a retardant on it. Now, unless you know that it's an organic piece of ginger, you should really cut that skin off because you don't want any chemicals getting into your body. Now, in order to peel ginger, you can do it in a number of ways. You can use a small knife to do that, and you can just pretty much peel it like you would an apple. Or you can use one of these. This is a standard potato peeler, and basically you're just peeling the skin off of the ginger. And you really don't have to go that deeply into it. You're just getting the skin off, and once it's complete, your ginger is ready to go. Okay, now our ginger is all clear of its skin, so the next step is to cut our ginger. And I'm going to show you how to cut the ginger for different uses. First, I'm going to clean off my surface. Alright, now the surface of our ginger is skin-free, and when you peel it, you find that it's got kind of a damp surface to it. Now this is actually telling you that this is a juicy piece of ginger, which will make a very delicious product that you're cooking, such as your bread, or put it in your smoothie. Now, the thing about ginger is that it is strong to the taste, and the thicker you cut it, the stronger it is. So if you're going to be using ginger in, say, gingerbread cookies or your oatmeal, you're probably going to want this ginger diced. Now, there is a such thing as candied ginger, which you can use as a snack. And candied ginger is cut a bit thicker because you're going to actually cook it and sugarcoat it, which takes away some of that sting from the ginger. I'm going to be using my ginger in some baked items, so I'm going to need my ginger diced finely. We don't want people biting into a cookie or a piece of bread and get a big stinging piece of ginger, because that's not pleasant to everyone. Some people do like that. I don't mind a nice juicy piece of ginger, clears out your sinuses, but everyone doesn't want that surprise when they're eating your food. So I'm going to show you how to dice up this piece of ginger. Now, when you're cutting up ginger, you can also use a food processor if you have one. And a food processor is very quick and easy, but you do have to do that cleanup. This way, once you're done cutting it, you're done. So what I did was cut off and made a flat surface on the ginger. So I'm just going to put the flat side down now. And I'm just going to cut thin slices. And like I said, this ginger we're not making into candy. So you're really not trying to get perfect slices. We're just trying to get it cut so that we can start dicing the ginger. Okay, now that our ginger is in slices, I'm just going to dice it, and I just want a rough cut. I don't need it cut into perfect little squares or perfect little cubes. I just need it cut into small enough bits so that it adds a nice little flavor enhancement to my bread, but I don't want it to totally overpower someone's taste bud. Now, before I do get started with the cutting, I want to make sure that my cutting board does not keep moving around on my smooth stainless steel surface. So basically what this is just a regular piece of plastic. It's actually like a drawer liner that was left over, and I just used it. You can actually use a towel that you wet, and you just wet it, you put it underneath your cutting surface, and that keeps it from rolling around. And that's another kitchen safety tip. Make sure that your cutting board does not move around, because if it does, you will get cut, and we don't want blood in the food. We also don't want you to get cut, so make sure that you're safe. So what we're going to do now, like I said, is we're going to just dice up our ginger. Depending on how much ginger root you're trying to cut, this could take a few minutes. It could be quicker. I'm going to make enough of this to use for a number of different recipes because the cutting board is out, I have the ginger, and it stores very well in your refrigerator. I wouldn't store it on the kitchen shelf because at room temperature, the storage shelf life is not as long as if you kept it in the refrigerator. Okay, so now our ginger is in a fine dice, and being fine means that it's very small pieces of ginger, which is going to make this perfect in my bread and in my granola, because I don't want big chunks of ginger surprising people when they take a bite of it. Sometimes you do want bigger pieces of ginger, but not today. This has been Tish Tansil, and thank you for joining me on another Urbanesque Living.